Hello friends, I'm Nitin Parmar and bringing to you a very important video called article number 12, meaning of the state, with some important case laws related to Indian Constitution. I'm sure all of you have gone through my Indian Constitution fundamental right के आगे वाले दो videos. This is a new series we are starting. Here we are trying to get into little bit more detail. Yes, let me start to talk about this article number 12, meaning of the state. I'm sure all of you are aware that राजा महाराजा जब हुआ करते थे तो उनके सब्जेक्ट्स को वो कुछ अधिकार देते थे. सब राजा ऐसा नहीं करते थे. So there were King Ram, he had Ram Rajya. He allowed his subjects to question his own personal life. ठीक है, आपने सुना होगा सीता का जो केस हुआ था जहां पे सीता माता को उनको अपने राज्य से बाहर निकालना पड़ा था. सो दैट वाज अ काइंड ऑफ सिनेरियो जहां पे वो प्रजा के कुछ राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करते थे. एंड देन वी हैड किंग अशोका एंड देन वी हैड दिस यू कैन से मुगल साम्राज्य के किंग अकबर. सो ऑल दोस थिंग्स वर अवेलेबल. ठीक है, जहांगीर वाज कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ वेरी जस्ट किंग. तो ये सब सिनेरियो हो रहा था. बट over a period of time, we have seen there are certain kings and certain rulers who have misused those power. So the idea of keeping all the powers in one person or in some group of people's hand is a bad idea. So we have to separate those. So we have a legislative power, executive power, judiciary power. These are to be separated, and that's a kind of theory provided by Mr. Montesquieu, and that's called theory of separation of power. So the purpose behind the fundamental rights is this, that the tyrants cannot have full rights. Okay, it is the citizens who will have certain rights, and from there we develop a concept of fundamental right. So when we develop concept of fundamental right, the big question are the fundamental rights are given to whom? So we know that fundamental rights are given to citizens and they are also given to non-citizens as well. So we know that article number 21 is given to non-citizens, article number 14 is given to non-citizens, while article number 19 is given to the citizens only. So that aspect is what we are aware about. Yes. Now the big question is, these fundamental rights are available against whom? Are they available to everyone and anyone? Possibly not. Fundamental rights are available against the state, and that's how the idea of state coming into the picture. So article number 12. So you know part 3. Yes, part 3 of Indian Constitution, that is article number 12 to article number 35, talks about fundamental rights, and there article number 12 starts with definition of state. Yes, so part 3 और part 4 में ये definition apply होती है और बाकी कहीं पे भी state की definition apply नहीं होती है. So article number 12, that is part 3 of article number 12, talks about state, covers these 4 things. Let us understand in detail. Government and Parliament of India, that is executive and legislative organs of union government. So this has to be treated in a very broader sense. So I'm sure legislative and executive organ, that means the ministries, prime minister office, finance ministry, defense ministry, this is the executive organ. They will be considered to be state. Yes, okay. While UPSC will also be considered to be state. While legislative organs, that means Parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and President will be considered as the state, while the organs of state government, that is executive and legislative, they are also state. So these are logical. Yes, ठीक है, क्योंकि वो लोग सरकार चला रहे हैं, सरकार में लॉ बना रहे हैं. ठीक है, सो ये एक तरीके से स्टेट है. नाउ वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हमारे देश में सरकार चलाने की सिस्टम कैसी है. अगर हमें पता चल जाए कि हमारे यहाँ पे सरकार चलाने की सिस्टम कैसी है, तो वहां से हमें स्टेट का डेफिनेशन निकालना बहुत इजी बन जाएगा. फॉर एग्जांपल, हमारे यहाँ पे 3 लेवल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट होती है. सो वी हैव अ लोकल गवर्नमेंट, देन वी हैव अ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड देन वी हैव अ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. सो वी हैव अ लोकल गवर्नमेंट विच इज पॉसिबली म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज, पंचायत, डिस्ट्रिक्ट बोर्ड और सम अदर ट्रस्ट. सो दे आर दी लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट. उनके ऊपर होती है स्टेट और उनके ऊपर होता है सेंटर. ठीक है, सो ये तीनों तीन will be considered to be state. Yes, and then the fourth thing, all the other authorities, that is statutory, non-statutory authorities like LIC, ONGC, SAIL, are basically the state. Okay, so what is the definition? Let us understand one more time. The state has been defined in a wider sense. The state has been defined in a wider sense to include all its agencies. It is the action of these agencies that can be challenged in the court as violating fundamental rights, nothing else. So you cannot challenge authority themselves. The action of the authority can be challenged, and according to the Supreme Court, even a private body or an agency working as an instrument of a state falls under the meaning of the state. For example, let us say your school or your college. Okay, so when a school which is approved by CBSE and when it goes for the recruitment of the people, okay, so when the recruitment of the people or giving admission to their school, this is an agency working as an instrument of the state, will fall under the category of the state. I hope it is very clear. Great. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो अब हम देखते हैं एक बड़ा सवाल. सवाल ये है कि is government of India and parliament a state? Definitely, that is a clear answer, saying that yes, they are. So what Supreme Court had said, whenever any act, whether as a whole or in part, infringes upon the fundamental rights of an individual, it is challenged before the judiciary, and then same is left to the judicial scrutiny, which means कोई भी act, that means government और पार्लियामेंट इज ऑल्सो स्टेट, और अगर वो हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट को वायलेट करेंगे हम उसके बारे में क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं. सो दैट वाज अ वेरी फेमस केस कॉल्ड श्रेया सिंघल वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, अंडर विच इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट 2000 का एक सेक्शन था, सेक्शन 66A. इट वाज चैलेंज दैट इट इज अगेंस्ट द फ्रीडम एज प्रोवाइडेड इन द आर्टिकल नंबर 19. ठीक है, क्योंकि उसमें ऐसा लिखा गया था कि जो भी चीज अगर इंटरनेट के ऊपर कुछ लिखेंगे और अगर वो स्टेट के खिलाफ होगा तो स्टेट आपको पकड़ के जेल में डाल सकता है. सो दिस इज अगेंस्ट द फंडामेंटल अगेंस्ट द राइट ऑफ फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच एंड एक्सप्रेशन, और उसके खिलाफ ये श्रेया सिंघल ने लड़ाइयां लड़ी थी और ये केस वो जीती थी. सो दैट बिकम अ वेरी फेमस केस. अब आता है बहुत बड़ा सवाल, व्हाट इज अदर अथॉरिटी? इज इट अ स्टेट? So for example, this Board of Cricket Control of India, is it a state? University is a state. IRCT is a state. Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam Limited is a state. Is the GO is a state? So these are the kind of, you can say, question basically being developed. So in today's context, BCCI, though it is not a statutory body, but the way it is performing it is a state. University, the way it is functioning, it is a state. Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam Limited, which is an electricity board, is a state. IRCTC, when it is coming for, you can say, giving tickets to us, रेलवे की टिकट्स जब हम परचेस करते हैं तब IRCT is a state. Is Jio a state? In any scenario, Jio cannot be a state. Yes, but Jio is, let's say, following some tri-related regulations, then possibly it may be a state. But in most of the cases, Jio is not a state. So let me make it very clear. Jio is a private body and it cannot be a state. It is doing for its own purpose, nothing else. Okay, so let's move forward and talk about other important cases. जो सबसे पहला केस आया था, it was University of Madras and Santabai case. Okay, this was a very famous case. वहाँ पे ये सवाल पैदा हुआ था, whether University of Madras is a state or not. ठीक है, court gave a very narrow perspective here. So Madras High Court held that other authorities could only indicate authorities of a like nature. Okay, so when they mention in article number 12 that other authorities, now what is the meaning of other authority? So Madras High Court ने ये बोला था that other authorities may include, आगे जो sentences में authorities use करी गई है वैसा, that means all those agencies which are doing governmental function or sovereign function will be included as the state. While this University of Madras is not a government or is not doing sovereign function, therefore it is not the state. ऐसा उन्होंने definition दिया था. So they said it cannot include person, natural or juristic such as university unless it is maintained by the state. उन्होंने एक principle apply किया था जिसका नाम दिया गया था Ejusdem generis. It's a Latin term, means of the same kind. Okay, so they said of the same kind. So generally when we write in a legal term, we usually write that like others, yes, or it includes this. We cannot give exhaustive list, so we give indicative list. So when we talk about indicative list, there the problem arises. So ये problem arise हुआ कि भैया क्या गिना चाहिए. So मद्रास हाई कोर्ट ने ये बोल दिया कि भैया ये तो स्टेट गिना नहीं जाएगा. So let us understand one more time this principle called idem generis. Okay, so यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया आपसे, in an act dealing with the slaughter of animals for food for human consumption, the expression cows, goats, sheep and other animals, ठीक है, whether the following animals are covered under the above expression or not. That means ये other animals में कौन आएगा? Cats and dogs, wild animals, poultry, horse flesh, क्या आना चाहिए? अब आप देखिए cats and dogs, they are not included in other animals because we generally do not consume them. Great. Number two, wild animals, they are also not covered because we are not generally consuming them. Poultry do not come under the category of this animals. Okay, so by nature they are not coming under the animal, so therefore poultry will not come under. While horse flesh, जिस जगहों पे हॉर्स फ्लैश अगर कंज्यूम किया जाता है तो उसमें हॉर्स फ्लैश will be coming under this scenario. So कुछ देशों में horse flesh is used for the human, you can say food, and there it will be considered. So therefore horse flesh, so cows, goats, sheep and horse flesh will be considered according to idem generis. Okay, अब आया अगला महत्वपूर्ण केस called Ujjam Bai versus State of UP. Here court gave a very liberal opinion. Court said that the previous principle called idem generis cannot be applied in a very narrow manner. Okay, so they said the include should include lot of things. ठीक है, it is not a very narrow list. Okay, so they said the question ultimately is whenever we talk about others, the others should include what the legislature must have intended, not any other thing. Yes, ठीक है. So here they gave a very broad definition कि भैया उज्जम बाई वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ यूपी में whether a particular body, in this case it was an excise department, so excise department will be state or not. तो उन्होंने बहुत liberal sense में लिया था और उन्होंने बोला कि yes, it will be considered to be a state. Okay, so after this Ujjam Bai case, one of the very famous case came which said electricity board versus Mohanlal. So इस केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये जजमेंट दिया that whether authority is engaged in a sovereign or governmental function is not necessary. Okay, it is not necessary that whether they are doing it or not. So what is very necessary is the body has to be created by some law. If a body has been created by some law and then it is doing the statutory function, possibly it is coming under the definition of state. Now then came the another scenario. There are a lot of bodies which have been created by law, but they are majorly doing commercial activity. They are not performing the government's function or any other function like LIC, ONGC. So in Sukhdev Singh versus Bhagat Ram case, Supreme Court held that they are also like LIC, ONGC, they are also falling under the category of authorities and they are also state. Similarly, a breakthrough case came in the name of R.D. Shetty versus Airport Authority of India. So basically, Airport Authority of India has been established by Airport Authority Act. ओके उसके द्वारा बनाया गया है वो. अब वो बनाने के बाद वो जिस तरीके से फंक्शन करता है, ठीक है, दैट इज बेसिकली फंक्शनिंग एज द स्टेट. क्यों? क्योंकि एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया के जो मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर होंगे, उनके बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर होंगे, उनका अपॉइंटमेंट कौन करेगा? उनका अपॉइंटमेंट वाज कमिंग थ्रू द गवर्नमेंट एंड देयर बाय इट बिकेम अ गवर्नमेंट. एंड व्हेन आर.डी. शेट्टी डिमांडेड कि भाई मुझे एक स्टेट के खिलाफ फंडामेंटल राइट मिलना चाहिए, तो आर.डी. शेट्टी को मिला. और उस समय पे जस्टिस पी.एन. भगवती ने 5 पॉइंट टेस्ट दिया. क्या 5 पॉइंट टेस्ट दिया कि भाई कोई भी अथॉरिटी को आपको स्टेट बोलना है तो ये 5 मुद्दे देख लीजिए, और अगर वो 5 मुद्दों में आ जाता है देन इट इज अ स्टेट. फॉर एग्जांपल, फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज ऑफ द स्टेट इज अ चीफ फंडिंग सोर्स for that particular organization, then it will automatically become the state. Deep and pervasive control of the state controls fully. एक तरीके से स्टेट के पास पूरा कंट्रोल है इसके ऊपर, so then it is basically a state. Functional character being governmental in its essence, okay, so meaning thereby that its functions have a public importance and are of governmental character. For example, unique identity authority of India, okay, आधार कार्ड देने वाली जो अथॉरिटी है that will come under the state. Yes, then department of government transferred to a corporation. कोई पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट सरकार ने ट्रांसफर कर दिया है कि अब ये वाला काम कौन करेगा, एक कॉर्पोरेशन काम करेगा, सो दैट इज एक्सेप्टेबल एज अ स्टेट. सो इन दिस सिनेरियो NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, will come under this state. Yes, very important, and it enjoys monopoly status, which is state conferred, or it is protected by state. That means IRCTC will come under this. I hope you understand this. Great. So अगर आप देखेंगे कि आपके स्कूल अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा फंडेड है, so then this is a state. While a private school, yes, remember, while it is a private school, it is not a state. कब वो स्टेट होगा? जब वो कोई CBSE की एग्जाम कंडक्ट कर रही है तब वो स्टेट होगा, पर जब वो किसी का रिक्रूटमेंट कर रही है तब शायद वो स्टेट नहीं होगा. यस, बट किसी को एडमिशन दे रही है तो वो पक्का स्टेट होगा. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. ग्रेट. सो दिस इज अ ब्रेक थ्रू कंसेप्ट came in R.D. Shetty versus Airport Authority of India. Here, the 5-point tests were provided and there was caution mentioned that the test is only illustrative in purpose and not conclusive in its nature. It is to be approached with great care and the caution. ऐसा उन्होंने बोला. So क्या care लगानी पड़ेगी? So यहाँ पे देखना पड़ेगा that whether an authority is doing, so whether an authority is doing functional aspect or it is an instrumentality of the state. How do we understand whether it is simply doing a functional aspect or it is an instrumentality of state? So there are two parameters. One is called degree of control and another is extraordinary financial assistance. For example, your school is conducting an examination, then it is degree of control and there it is a state. Okay, while otherwise it is not because it is not funded. I hope it is very clear. Great. आगे बढ़ते हैं. And then another case came called Ajay Hasya versus Kali Mujib Shiravdi. It has been held in this case that whether a statutory body falling within the purview of the expression of other authority or not. Okay, so they have considered in a very different way. For example, ICAI, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, whether it will fall under this state or not. So in the opinion of minority, the tests laid down in this case are relevant only for the purpose of determining the instrumentality or the agency of the state. For no other purpose it will be considered. That means whether a particular body is a state or not, और वो जो 5 पॉइंट अप्लाई करने थे वो अप्लाई करने में क्या चीज का ध्यान रखना है? That whether it is instrumental to the government or not, that's the only thing we need to consider. Okay, now the new case came called BCCI, that is Board of Control of Cricket in India. That case के द्वारा ये सवाल पूछा गया कि whether this BCCI is a state or not. So that was earlier case in 2005, which is BCCI versus Netaji Cricket Club in 2005. Supreme Court held that BCCI is not a state. Okay, so they said it is not part of state as per article number 12. क्यों? Because they said it was not created by any statute, nor it is a part of share capital held by the government. Okay, so this is a scenario came. But later on, Law Commission of India recommended to the government to make this 90-year-old BCCI a public body. उन्होंने क्या argument दिया? उन्होंने argument ये दिया that ICC recognizes BCCI as an official body representing cricket in our country. It is exercising state-like powers in the regulation of the state. Given this, it should logically come under the definition of the state. This is what they said. And the board has a monopolistic activities and thereby it is affecting fundamental rights of the citizens, players and other functionaries, and therefore it should come under the, you can say, state. Now BCCI is a state. And then judiciary. A big question, whether a judiciary, that is Supreme Court and a High Court, whether they will be included in the definition of state or not. So there was a very famous case came called Rupa Ashok Hura versus Ashok Hura. The apex court reaffirmed that no judicial proceeding could be said to violate any fundamental rights and that it is settled position of law that Superior Court of Justice did not fall within the ambit of state or other authority. So when judiciary is doing their judicial function, समझो बात को, when judiciary is doing their judicial function, that means they are giving any kind of judgment, तब वो state नहीं गिना जाएगा. ठीक है ना? So when judiciary is performing non-judicial function, that means भाई master of roster कौन होगा? ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अपॉइंटमेंट कैसे होगी, ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपने एम्प्लॉयज को किस तरीके से रखेगा, ये सब चीजों के अंदर जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट विल बी कंसिडर टू बी स्टेट। बट जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट कोई जजमेंट दे रहा होगा तब वो स्टेट नहीं गिना जाएगा। सो दिस लिव्स अस विद अ रैशनल दैट अ सुपीरियर जुडिशियल बॉडी व्हेन एक्टिंग जुडिशियली would not fall under the definition of state, but when it performs any administrative or a similar function like conducting examination, it will fall under the definition of state, and the remedy could be sought in the context in case that body has violated your fundamental right. Okay, so I hope कि आपको आर्टिकल नंबर 12 that is meaning of state must have been very clear. Yes, ठीक है, अगर आपको ये पसंद आया है तो फटाफट कमेंट्स लगाइए, लाइक करिए इस वीडियो को, इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करिए, and also tell me whether you are interested to get some other topics or not. Okay, so till we meet for the next class, all the best from my side. Thank you very much.